touchy question that's difficult to answer and sometimes even more difficult to ask. How old is too old to drive?
Senior correspondent Rich Newberg is here with more on today's special assignment. Rich?
Well, most might agree that age alone should not determine whether a person should be trusted behind the wheel. But as we get older, things begin to change. Eyesight, response time, and perhaps judgment. I'd like to introduce you now to a woman who is well aware of potential driving problems that may come with age. You may find this somewhat ironic, but Catherine Roth, who turns 90 in August, is driven by a mission to get older drivers whose skills behind the wheel are failing off the road. She's concerned about saving lives.
Have you seen what bicyclists do? They ride right in front of you. Sometimes it's the reaction time is one of my concerns.
About 19 years ago, Mrs. Roth lost her son, James, to a disoriented elderly driver.
People driving the wrong way on a four-lane highway. That was how my son was killed. The man was 81 years old.
Mrs. Roth is now paying a visit to the State Motor Vehicles office in Batavia, where she voluntarily asked that her driving skills be tested. She was told, "We have no guidelines for this."
The state isn't set up to actually retest or retrain people.
And I was surprised, really, to get the answer that, no, there really isn't any way of being tested unless someone reports me personally that perhaps I shouldn't be driving.
Very few states require older drivers to retake a road test, and it's not an easy road in New York to remove a driver whose skills are in question. A formal request for driver review must be filled out by a concerned citizen, identifying the person whose ability to drive is in question. The citizen's relationship to the driver must be stated, along with the reason for reporting the driver. The state wants a list of other people who agree with the assessment, a signed statement that the truth is being told, and then that the whole form be notarized. Why such scrutiny?
Certainly, for certain types of drivers, that driving license is their last vestige of independence, especially if they get up in years sometimes.
Catherine Roth, meanwhile, says she may begin asking friends to give her a lift to the doctor's office or to church, so when she has to give up driving, it won't be a total shock. She is preparing for that day.
We don't want to lose our independence, but on the other hand, we don't want to hurt someone either.
Mrs. Roth says people plan ahead for everything for their old age, except for when they should not be driving anymore.
Mrs. Roth seems so together. Now, has the Genesee County Clerk actually responded to her request for retesting?
Well, Genesee County Clerk Don Reed agrees with Mrs. Roth that older drivers should be retested if they request it. In fact, he has asked State Motor Vehicles Commissioner David Swartz to consider a change in the rules to allow it. And Mr. Reed would also give these drivers a second chance if they fail the first time around. So he's for it.
All right.
All right, thanks for waking up with us this morning, Rich.